What's up? What's up? What's up? It's like a part two back in this house. Big game James. You know, he brought the thizzle last night with Vash Lombardi coming hard. You know how he does with the draft, coming breaking down players like no other. You better holler at him. And then I come with my dog, my dog. Law Nation has been like 17,250 years, but I got him back on because he on like 70,000 channels and tubes. He just grinding like that. What's up with you, big dog?
Man, everything, including the sun and the moon, man. That's everything that's up with me, man. I'm just trying to crack a lack and get this thing popping. You know how this thing go. Hey, next week, there's going to be a whole different team, a whole different chemistry, a whole different mindset, a whole different world. But guess what? We're going to walk onto that thing, and we're going to be representing that silver and blue to the day we die. Hey, they cut us. You know what we're going to bleed.
You know what we believe. We believe in Silver and Blue Nation all day. You know what I'm saying? Let me give a few shout outs, Big
Yeah.
Law. Muggs Maxwell, what's up with you back? Yes, Stevie Mac. I'm doing it 2 days in a row. I guess you can't believe it. I told you I wasn't playing around, man. I told you I'm going to start coming
Yeah.
with this fire. No Dak Ninja, what's up with you? Adrian Williams. Like I said, Muggs Maxwell, keep on telling everybody. Jump in. We give you shout outs. We're going to just talk some Cowboys football. We're going to talk about the state of the mind of the Cowboys right now. We're going to talk about the core players that everybody's been talking about. We all know about the draft. We know about the drafts coming up. We talked about that last night, but we need to talk about these core players, the players that basically are going to be getting us to the next level. One of the main players that me and Vosh touched on a little bit, we're really going to touch on him. And I know people probably like, y'all going to talk about him again? Yes, we have to talk about him because he's yet to get paid. He should get paid, and he's one of the biggest controversial ones to get paid on the team. And we know who we're talking about. We're talking about Dak Prescott. We're talking about him. And we talked about him yesterday, as I said before, but I want to get another person's opinion, Mr. Law Nation, because I know you've been vocal about who should, what's going on. My thing about this whole thing with Dak Prescott is this. When I see the other guys like Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford, Garoppolo, who played, 7 games and then got paid $27 million. So my thing is, like, I heard somebody else say this as well, kind of sparked my mind. If Garoppolo played 7 damn games and got $27 million and Dak has played 3 seasons over and has been a winner and had very good numbers, why wouldn't he get paid that kind of money, and why would we be mad at that?
They need to wise up and go reach down into their pockets and pay them. That's just the bottom line. Hey, something about continuity pause and things like that. I always got to quote this thing from Nietzsche. And guys, just write it down if you can. Just write it down. Hey, don't spoil what you have by desiring the things that you don't have. But remember, the thing that you do have was something you dreamed for, longed for. So Cowboy Nation, stop crying about paying the man 27, 28 to close to $30 million. Because at one point, hey, in 2015, we were saying, hey, just give us anybody. Give us anybody. And we would have went to the playoff that year. Of course, I know we only won a few games, but we was in every game. Right or wrong, big game, James.
It was in every game, and the quarterback situation was one of the reasons why we lost those games, because we played admirable. I remember when we played the Seattle Seahawks that year, and they beat us 10-9, and they beat us in the last seconds of the game. And that was 2015 when they had their dogs. They had their dogs, and we had Matt Castle.
And one can argue for that
and Joseph Randall.
For that first half, we gave the Patriots a run for their money.
We was giving them the business. Our pass rush was after them. We was in Tom Brady's face, but you know what Brady does eventually when you can't score points. When you can't score points and you don't get first downs, your defense eventually is going to wear down, and it won't be the fault of the defense, but the defense eventually going to wear down and give something up because it's been on the field all game.
Yes, indeed. So, we can look at it. Is Dak Prescott the best passer of the ball to throw the ball? No, he's not even close to that, right? But he's a guy that you're not going to say, well, we lost the game solely because of Dak. You can look at it from this aspect, too. In 2015, didn't we have a nice offensive line? Was there any issues with the offensive line? But why we couldn't win? Didn't we have Darren McFadden running for almost third overall in rushing?
Fourth leading rusher in the NFL overall that year.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
offensive line was stout that year because it was just coming off the 2014 season. So the offensive line was still stout and doing its thing and handling its business. And also, we lost Dez Bryant, and we were still in games. We
In
still weren't
games.
getting blowout, but it was the quarterback position that kept us out of games. We had Brandon Whedon. We had Castle. They weren't making plays, and they were making plays that were killing us. And if we were all screaming that year, if we just had a quarterback. So Dallas went out in 2016 and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get us a
Right.
quarterback. We're going to have somebody to back up Tony Romo because we still believe in Romo. We're going to have somebody back him up, and we're going to groom somebody for the future. They saw Dak Prescott. This is a guy we think we can groom for the future. Let's let him sit on the bench a couple of years because we don't think he's ready. We like his talent, but we don't think he's ready, and let him groom behind Romo because we feel like Romo has a few years. That was their mindset and their plan. It was no plan to throw Dak Prescott to the wolves right now. Even when Romo got hurt, it was Kellen Moore that was the backup. So they still didn't want Dak Prescott to see the field. So when people get mad and upset about Dak Prescott, they should really look at the front office and saying they really did not want him to see the field at all because they felt he was not ready at all. And he came in these 3 years and done this for a team that honestly didn't really believe he could do it.
And again, guess what? The team's not even built for him.
It was
Now
built
they
for
start
Romo.
making the yeah.
They started
yeah.
making the adjustments.
You start making the adjustments,
But
and this
2016
team
was
could be
Romo's team.
Yeah, it was Romo's team. Ezekiel Elliott got Romo name all over him, and I can only close my eyes and think if Ezekiel Elliott and Romo was to stay healthy, if Romo didn't feel like he had to prove a point against the Seattle Funky Seahawks, he could have just sat on a bench and let these young boys play. But Romo had to prove a point. He said that little boy from Mississippi
He was looking at Prescott. You can't tell me he wasn't thinking about it because this was the first time. Because I've said this before. Shout outs to everybody. Let me give you a quick shout out before we jump because we're gonna have a good ass conversation. I can already feel this. Nicholas Nelson Brown, what's up with you, big dog? Cowboys for life. Katina, what's up with you, Katina? I love you. How you doing out there? But you know, Romo was the first time I think was actually looking over his shoulder because ever since he had been there and took over the reins, I told you they never put anybody in the position to really challenge him, to really push him or do anything to really mess up his ego or mind. So when they got Dak Prescott, now you got an athletic quarterback who's big, who's strong, who's got some work, and he's a winner. Yeah, everybody saw what he did at Mississippi State. He was a winner. He took them from nothing. He took them from nothing because Mississippi State didn't have a bunch of dogs on that team that year. They had some good players. They didn't have dogs. It was Dak Prescott that was the main cog, and we all remember that when he was back with Mississippi State. So this is the first time Romo said, oh, man, I got to make sure I play because I don't want to be losing no reps. This happens because he remembers when he was the guy, when Bledsoe was back there, and he was chopping at the bit to get on the field.
Yes, indeed. And I'm with this belief, Cowboy Nation, and also Big Game James. I'm with this. Now, I'm staying true to the board. Now, if the Cowboys with the 58 pick and they doing BPA and the best player available so happen to be a quarterback, I'm not saying you pass up on the quarterback, and I'm not saying you're giving up the future with Dak Prescott. I'm not saying that at all, okay? So if the quarterback is on the highest player on the board at 58, you still pick him up. If not, if you believe in somebody else, then you would do that. But my thing is with Dak Prescott, all I want people to do is just pump the brakes a little bit, support the young kid, because he did nothing but he won first year, second year, third year.
Has he gotten in trouble?
Yeah. No. Never got in trouble.
Not gotten in trouble. I mean, isn't that what we've been wanting? I mean, don't you want that from your quarterback? Doesn't get in trouble, stays good in the community, stand up. That's what you want. A leader of men. He's a leader. I mean, he's a leader in the community. You don't see it. Like I said, that's huge. You don't see him get in trouble. You see all these athletes getting in trouble. Cowboys fans, are we spoiled? Because we're sitting there complaining about a man who's did nothing but good with the Cowboys. I mean, you think of the 3 years he's been there, he's done nothing but good. What evil, what bad has Dak Prescott done in these 3 years toward the organization?
Well, people like to compare him to the Pat Mahomes and the Watson's kids and the other guy that played for the Browns. Yes, they are better throwers of the ball. I can say that. But, man, when you just look at the collective body and the pressure that it takes when you play with that silver and blue with that star on the side of your helmet, man, It's just a different type of world, Cowboy Nation. And of course, Roger Goodell always got to stick his toe in the water with the Ezekiel Elliott situation. There's been no other player that been scrutinized, that been having all these crazy investigations on him. Don't you think that would derail the team? Can you imagine, Big Game James, if Paul Tagliabue said, okay, we're going to take Emmitt Smith away from you for 6 games or for on and off the field stuff for Troy Aikman? Don't you think we would have still had the same run?
You know what I mean? No, we know. You know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, get this man. I feel like I get what people think in their brain about
Right.
$30 million a year. That's crazy. I mean, in your brain, you're gonna think that, but you got to look at, this is a job. This is a job. This is employment. So if you're an employee, and you're working your butt off, and you have top numbers and very good numbers, you're going to want to get paid as an employee your top dollar. You're going to do that.
You're going to do that, yeah. Now, one thing I will say, Big Game James, when you look at it, let's look at the Russell Wilson's first contract. He had got a 4-year, $87 million, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's after he'd won a Super Bowl. But one can argue that the LOB helped him out. And to me personally, there's nobody on this planet Earth can tell me that Pete Carroll's coaching staff is not better than our coaching collective staff during this first part of Dak Prescott's career. Mm-hmm. Okay, can you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I can.
So what I'm looking at is that it was like $22 million. It was like one of the highest paid quarterback salaries at that time. $22 million for it was like 87. I could be off a little bit on the money. It was like 60 something guaranteed. Now, if you were to move that particular contract to modern day time and include inflation, it'd probably be still around 27, 28 million. That's what we're talking about paying Dak Prescott. I don't think that we can just get mad at ourselves with that type of money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, we will be only looking at it like, oh, that's big money for Dak Prescott until Pat Mahomes get his big $200 million contract down the line. And you know that's going to happen in the next following years. If the way that kid is playing, right, they're going to try to extend him a little bit sooner. So we're going to look at the first $200 million contract.
And he's going to be getting close to $40 million. And you know he is, because anybody throws 50 freaking touchdowns in their second season, not after playing no dang football and 5,000 damn yards, you're going to get money. You're getting money and you're getting paid big dollars. You get what I'm saying? So, yes, we understand that that's what's going to happen. But when we're seeing that, just like when I had Bobby Belt on the show about a month ago and other guys, they were saying, and it's true, when everybody was up and roar when Cam Newton got his money, it was crazy. You know, everybody was like, does Cam Newton deserve it? He's not one of the best throwing quarterbacks. He doesn't throw the ball like Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees. How can he make that kind of money? And then just in 2 years, he's the 12th most paid quarterback within a couple of years. That's how the market changes. So we can be jumping up and down about the pay now, but it's going to drop. It is. And I'm sure the Cowboys are going to protect themselves. They did it. To me, they drafted Mike White to make sure to say, hey, we like you, Prescott, but guess what? We're still going to draft somebody just in case. So you don't think they're going to make a contract for them just in case with Prescott? They are. So we should trust Stephen Jones now. I'm a segue into him right now, because we should trust Stephen Jones right now, because he's done a lot of the right things and he's shrewd with people, as we've seen the negotiations with Tank. So you see that he's not, to me, it looks like his daddy as a lover of the player. He looks at money and he looks at the contract and he looks what's best for the team. And if it's not best for the team, he's not going to do it. So you damn sure well he's going to make a contract that's going to be good for the Cowboys with Dak Prescott as well.
You know what? Reason why I like Stephen Jones is because he's always been around daddy. He always been around his daddy. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even when I heard the story when Jerry Jones got drunk on the yacht on his first little boat, and he said he opened up the pages. You guys can recall that story. And he had looked down and he said, "Wait a minute, such and such Cowboys are for sale." And he jumped on that phone as quick as he could, and Stephen Jones was right there with him during that time. So what I'm trying to tell people is that there's always a right and a left. And I think that Stephen Jones always been that left guy that said, you know what? Nah, we shouldn't do it this way. We shouldn't do it that way. He was the guy that said, nah, we shouldn't pick up Deion Sanders. Old Jerry said, nah, we're going to go ahead and get this guy. We need him. And I heard that they got into a commotion, almost a fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we fast forward to modern day, present day, now that the salary cap is what it is right now, I
Mm-hmm.
think that Stephen Jones look at it from the monetary side of things and say, look, I can't fall in love. And just like when I heard the story with David Cantor, they almost got into a fist fight, a fisticuff
Mm-hmm.
about this situation and saying that, hey, D-Law is no Khalil Mack. He is no Von Miller. He is no whoever he mentioned this in the talks of those high paid guys. And collectively, if Cowboy Nation, trust me, if we take the emotions out of it, there's nobody that can prove to me that D-Law is those guys because we only comparing the 2 years opposed to 3 years.
Right.
You're supposed to compare the 3-year skill level or skill set of players. So what we are doing a little bit now is we appeasing a little piece of Jerry Jones, and we seeing the craftiness of Stephen Jones of the 3-year contract. This is like a prove it 3-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
and trust me, I love D-Law and I want D-Law to get the bag. Shout out to the Laws, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing, Big Game James. Every time we pay somebody outside of the offensive lineman, what happened? Educate the people what happened. I don't have to say anything else. We can go on and on and on.
We pay people outside the offensive lines like we falter. Like it's they did the right thing by keeping this line intact. La'el Collins, boy, we gotta do something with him. But let me give a quick shout out to some people, Law, before we finish out. Shout out to my Cowboys family. They was in the scene. They bounced out. Appreciate you, Slim Cuddy. What's up with you? He says salute to you, Law. Slim Cuddy gives you a shout out. Mr. Jeff Pearteed, Hawk in VA. He has a quick question. I'm gonna see if we can answer this. Do you think the possible lockout year has something to do with getting these contracts done? I don't know. It could be because I really feel like these players, if they really want change, they're gonna have to strike.
Right.
That's my opinion. Because the way the labor for the players, it just seems so weak. It's like one of the weakest labor unions, it seems, out of the NBA, the MLB, hockey. Just seems like the NFL, which shouldn't be because it's the most physical and violent sport, should be one of the best to take care of, and it's one of the worst. I just feel like it's going to be some things going on. I don't know if the contracts anything to do with it, but I do feel like it may be a for real strike if the players really want some change going on going forward.
It's two problems that may occur, and it's not like a half of a problem. The AAF needed to fail, okay? So if they were to continue to grind, I'm talking about the other football league, right? AAF. I think I'm saying it right?
Mm-hmm.
It's AAF.
Yep.
They needed to fall down on their face, right? Because what would have happened here if the strike were to happen while that league is still going and operating, those players
are going to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those players say, well, I could transition now over to the NFL, get a little bit more paper, and secure myself down the line. Now, the other half of that problem, the other half of that issue is that the XFL, they start next year.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen is, I call it a bleed over, meaning that those players, if the lockout occur, we know one thing about NFL players. They're not as I guess, managing of their money like the NBA. They don't have that bond of brotherhood like they do. And plus, it's more people too. 53 guys,
right?
So it's hard to keep 53 people all on one page. Like old folks say, "Hey, we want to all sing from the same hymnal." What kind of book that you got? What kind of book do you got over there? You see what I'm saying? Let's throw away the other books so we all want to be on the same page. These NFL players not on the same page. Then on top of that, you got people who have love and adulation for this sport collectively. And trust me, if it's a lockout year and Jerry Jones or Will McClay say, hey, Law, hey, Big Game James, You want to come play for the Cowboys? What you gonna do?
Put my pads on and take a couple of big hits, and I'm gonna get that paycheck though.
Yeah. So, and the product is going to breed the product, and I think the TV revenue and everything, people still going to come out to the games because the NFL did a wonderful job of not spotlighting the players, but spotlighting the teams per se. See, it's all about the team. See, the NBA, you can see the face of the logo of Steph Curry. You can see the face of the LeBron James or the LA Lakers or the other guy that played for what's that guy for the Milwaukee?
Oh, Giannis.
Giannis and other teams, Brooklyn, all them kids out there, man. You see them. You see their tattoos, you see their face, you see their haircuts. The NFL cut all that out. You don't have everything is uniform in the NFL. You can't wear pink socks on the wrong day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's something that's going to change. We'll see what's going to happen with these players later on going down the line. But we're going to talk about another player in particular who we've been talking about. We talked about Dak. First, before we get off Dak, Dak should get his money? Yes or no?
Yes.
$30 million, you wouldn't be mad?
I wouldn't be mad.
Okay. So,
as long as it wasn't 35.
He ain't going to hit that 35. They ain't going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't tell a man to be happy and satisfied with something, but I feel like if you were making like $570,000 and you go to like 27 or 28 million, I mean, I get it, but I mean, you're still feeling pretty good at 28 million from 575,000. I'm just saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't get mad, Dak, that if they feeling like they're lowballing you 28 million, you're still winning.
But the thing is, they're gonna use big game James. They're gonna look at Carson. If Carson Wentz get 30, then Dak Prescott is gonna get probably 29. If Carson Wentz get 30, or probably if Carson Wentz is gonna get 30, basically.
Yeah, he's gonna get 30 just because he's gonna get 30 because that high draft status, number one. And they still gonna think he's the franchise, so it's almost they forced to. But you just keep on getting broke up and hurt. I'm cool with that. You feel me, Wentz? So we're gonna talk about another guy who I think this is very controversial because I wrote an article on this man. I got crucified for writing this article. I did not say anything evil in the article. I did not say I did not want Zeke. I did not say anytime I don't want him here. I said that the reality is that he's a running back, and even though he's one of the select few running backs that you're going to see, he still is a running back. He still is taking a lot of hits. He's going to take more hits, and they said they're going to exercise his option year, meaning he's going to play his fourth year. Okay, Ezekiel's going to play his fourth year, and then he's going to exercise his option year. That means he's going to play another year. I mean, he's going to play 2 years. Right now, he's 23 years old. He's going to be 25 at that time, possibly going on to 26. Now, I'm not saying this is DeMarco Murray's situation, but remember, DeMarco Murray was 26 years old. And he just came off an 1,800-yard season, setting records, and Stephen Jones said, no, we're not paying you that money. Now, all I'm saying is we know Zeke is a monster. We know he should be top dollar, probably number one paid running back in the league per what we've seen, what he's done, what he can do. But 2 more years and 300 carries, 2 more years. It sounds good, but do you think Steven will really do it?
Well, in order for Ezekiel Elliott to be extended, he's going to want wide receivers money. Do you like to pay Ezekiel Elliott wide receivers money? I'm going to wait.
I mean, no.
So you don't want to pay Ezekiel Elliott wide receivers money. Then that's 15, 16, 17 million, give or take. So my thing is, Ezekiel Elliott, he's the best player on the team, and he's a whole lot younger than what DeMarco Murray is, right?
Right.
During that time frame.
Right.
And he didn't have the crazy injuries, because we saw the flashes in DeMarco's game. We were sitting there like, man, that St. Louis game, I was looking at it like, boy, we got us a
running back. We got us a running back.
We just had a crazy philosophy with a coaching staff in which they refused to run the rock. In 2013, I think the light switch turned on, I meant to say, but it was too late in the season, you see, in my opinion. And then they just moved it over to 2014, and they said, okay, this is the philosophy. All right, so now if we fast forward to this year, the best tool to keep Ezekiel Elliott on this team is to get him 16 to 17 carries a game. That will put him around 255 to close to 270 carries. Anything north of that, his body is going to be just unusable to his third contract. And I think that you probably, since Ezekiel Elliott age, and he just freakishly athletic, he's built right for the position. You never seen a running back with that big old massive head and that neck. You see what I'm saying? That he's looked like he's built to take these blows. But we also saw a tired Ezekiel Elliott towards the latter end of the stretch last year. There's nobody we can say, yeah, he got hit in the backfield a lot of times against that LA Rams tape. And we can talk about that front offensive line. And Ezekiel Elliott gets the pass because he only ran for like 46 something yards or something like that. But let's be real. Barry Sanders never had an offensive line. He was able to find spaces. Now I can say that this offensive line is a whole lot better than that offensive line for the Lions, okay? During that time frame that Barry Sanders. I'm not saying that Ezekiel Elliott should be running like Barry Sanders, but come on, guys. We got to start holding Ezekiel Elliott to a higher standard if his body is going to bail out on him towards the latter part of the year. So what will help him out is a good running back that can come in to help spell him. And I'll say knock off some of those attempts, get him down to 270 or at least 250.
Because that's what you're going to have to do, in my opinion.
Right.
And like I said, it's not that I don't want to stand Ezekiel Elliott. And I had Patrick Walker on here last week, and I was asking him about that, and he said pay Zeke, he's all world, and the Cowboys would do a 4-year deal and take it out after 2 and then see how it is. But to me, it's just, the contracts that these guys sign do now, when you see a 6-year deal, it's almost like unless they're 21 when they get that deal, they're not going to see the life of that deal. If they're a guy that's a 26, 27-year-old and they do a 6-year deal, unless you're just an all-world freakish player, you're not seeing the life of that contract to me. You just don't see him anymore. It's more you see these 3-year to 4-year deals that the players and looks like the teams are heading to. So my thing is, if you're taking those 2 more years, like I said, at 26, and you're doing a maybe 4-year deal till he's 30, maybe have an out after 2 so you can see what he is, okay. But as I said before, unless you're doing what you're saying, Law, and you have to possibly draft a running back or grab somebody in free agency because you need somebody because Rod Smith is probably gone, and I don't feel like we were really missing a beat losing him anyway. No hate to Rod Smith, but we needed a different type of back. But unless you're getting a type of back that can take off them carries, I don't care how good he is. Every running back, after you're taking that many hits, your body's going to slow down.
Regardless. And you speaking to cold hard flames right there. And it's the truth, Cowboy Nation. Don't look at it as hate, but it's just the reality of it. And they believe, and even for those who like Rod Smith, I think that the staff trusts Jameis Olawale more because he just signed a 3-year, $5.4 million contract.
Right.
So I'm looking at Rod Smith. I just pulled up Spoke Track right now, and I don't see nothing dealing with Rod Smith at this point. So I'm thinking that they're in process now of making that power play to make that move. Why do they pick Jameis Olawale over Rod Smith? I don't know. But my thing is, I'm thinking that they looking at a running back that they can get out of this draft that can complement Ezekiel Elliott just a little bit better. Rod Smith and Jameis Olawale, you close your eyes and you look at and spin around 5 times, you open up the film, you think 49 and 45 is the same person. So I'm thinking that in this draft, I haven't got a chance to evaluate a lot of running backs, but I'm thinking that with one of these picks that the Dallas Cowboys might be going out there and selecting a guy. I'm not thinking that they're going to get a TJ Yeldon, whoever that's already in the free agency market. I'm thinking that they're going to get somebody fresh who they can just know for sure they can be a nice change of pace, who can catch the ball out of the backfield, who can do a little bit more than what a wet back or a scat back or whoever they call Tavon Austin can do. So this is what I'm looking at him.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're going to see how that situation goes. Do you think, would you, in your opinion, pay Zeke top dollar money and extend him to a big deal?
I think I don't know if you'd want to go to the squeeze route Mm. Oh, man.
Yeah, I got you, didn't I?
Yeah,
See,
you
people
got
want to
me.
see, people actually see. Here's the thing: people jump
Talk
out
to me.
there, and if you don't say extend Ezekiel Elliott, they think you hating on Zeke, and it's not that. Like I've had people like, "Oh, you just hating on Zeke." You don't know I'm not. He plays freaking running back, okay, and he's an all-world back. But how many? There are very few running backs. I mean, Adrian Peterson's a dog. He got injured too, though. He's not superhuman. They play the position where their injuries, like offensive linemen, that's why you're leery of paying offensive linemen all that money, not because they're not worth it, but because every play they're in the line of fire getting major injuries and you losing year 1-2 years off that contract. This is about dollars and cents. Okay, we all want to win championships, but this is about dollars and cents too. And like I said, I just want to see what they're going to do with Ezekiel Elliott. If they're going to wait to that option year, like I said, that's 2 more years. And I'm not saying don't pay Zeke, but it's going to be very interesting. All I'm saying in these next couple of years, it's quiet now because he's just going into his 4th year. But when he goes in that option year and he's still getting good numbers and they're still looking at age or anything like that, we're going to see how that comes into play because I don't care. You see Stephen Jones plays hardball. He did it with DeMarcus Lawrence. He plays hardball.
You got a good recall. You got a good recall, fam.
You get what I'm saying?
What's that running back Lindsey from Denver Broncos? What round did they get him?
Oh man, it was like the 4th round, 4th or 5th round.
Somebody help me out in the chat box. So let's say, for example, or for instance, if we go into this draft, and I'm not trying to say I'm team no Zeke because it's crazy. You know, the path of the righteous man is beset on all sides, right?
Yes.
By the iniquities of the selfish. Oh, y'all getting me crunk now, baby. But this is the thing, Big Game James. If we go get this year, and this is his option year, if we go out there and we find a gem, I'm talking about a flat-out gem, a stud. Somehow it just so happened to fall in our lap. And he just gets out there in the field, and you looking at it like, whoa, Kimosabe, look at this mother. You know what I mean? Look at this brother. He just running his tail off. Oh, hey, Zeke. You know what I mean?
It's reality.
And that's the reality. And then what you can do after that option year, you can start doing the squeeze action.
Right.
You
it's
start
real.
Squeezing. And you can start saying, well, here's the squeeze right here. Here's the what do you call that thing when you put them on the franchise deal or transitional? I don't know. Philip Lindsay, that's what they saying. Joey S. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man.
Appreciate
Philip Lindsay. So if we go out there and somehow find a quote unquote Philip Lindsay 2.0, it would be crazy, guys. It would be crazy. But
that's what I'm saying.
And they said he was undrafted. Somebody said Joey said he was undrafted at that.
You feel me? And like I said, I'm not hating on it, but it's reality. If, like you said, if Dallas were to draft a gym running back and he comes in there and spells Zeke and is explosive, blowing 30, 40-yard gains, this and that, what were they screaming when Cooper Rush threw like 2 touchdowns in a damn preseason game? The next Tony Romo, Cooper Rush. People going to naturally scream it. Don't care what you say. They're going to scream certain things. You get what I mean? And people will keep eyes on it. So it's just going to be a situation we need to keep an eye on in the next couple of years with Ezekiel Elliott with his contract because it's going to be real here soon. Once those contract years and those option years, Byron Jones is in his option year, we're going to see everybody says it's all good until that money gets involved, and money changes everything. You feel me?
$14 million is what he projected to be. So Byron Jones after 1 year. So this pretty much is a prove it to me year.
Yeah, this is a prove it year.
My God, BJ.
This is a prove it year. This is a prove
You got to figure out something. He got to prove it.
We got to prove it. Let me give a few shout outs right quick. Law, Alex Almonte, Chris Longley, Joey S. My Cowboys family still in there. Edward Sweeney, Flows Infinite. What's up, Nene? She jumped back in here. How you doing? Jeff Pearteet, like I said. Who else we got in there? Arkansas Cowboy. What's up, all y'all? We appreciate everybody being in here. We appreciate everybody listening, commenting, jumping in here. We love it. Thank you. We'll try to get to any comments, any questions that you have. Throw them in there. We'll try to get in there as well. I didn't mean to cut you off, Law,
No, no,
but
no, 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 no. You good, but I got to say this
go
one
ahead.
thing
Go
right
ahead. Say
quick
it.
for
Spit it.
everybody else
Spit it.
nation, man. Hey, we got 50 people and only 14 likes, man. I'm just disappointed in everybody that's in the chat box, man. Please just
Like.
give us a like, man.
Yes.
It's free. It's free
Like and
99. It's just a
subscribe.
thumb.
Yes, like and subscribe. Thank you, Law. I appreciate that. See, I was going to come out there and say that, but I'm glad you caught me at the pass. You had me at the pass. So yes, like if you're in here, you like what we talking about, like and subscribe to the page because yay, somebody jumped in here and said, hey, 2 back-to-back days. Yes, I'm trying to go hard, y'all. I'm grinding, leaving work, coming to work. Feel me? Trying to grind. That's what we trying to do here. Yeah, you know it. I told you on 75 stations, so I know you tired. You don't get no damn sleep.
No sleep.
No sleep till Brooklyn. Beastie Boys. You feel me?
Yes.
So we talked about Dak. We talked about Zeke. There's another player that I'm gonna bring up as well, who's he's been in the news because he's another person that they said whose contract they should probably take care of right now because he could be the cheapest way. Is Mr. Amari Cooper. Now, you seen Julio Jones getting big dollars. You know the wide receiver market. Your thoughts on Amari Cooper?
My thing is, I believe that the base of his contract is going to be $16 million. That's where the starting point of the negotiation, because they was willing to pay Sammy Watkins.
Sammy, can you believe that? Sammy Watkins?
We dodged a big
That's
bullet.
Crazy. That's crazy
like,
when you think about that.
It's kind of like the girl you had the crush on in high school.
Man,
and
that's crazy.
Said, man, I want to holler at her. And then after college and everything, then you come back to your hometown. You said, boy, I'm glad I missed that.
Man,
boy,
I'm cool. Yes, man. I can't believe they actually were going to offer Sammy Watkins $16 million a year. And I feel like if he would have came to Dallas, he'd have been hurt his whole career.
Oh, man. the pressure to play in Dallas. And I'm not saying, and I'm not throwing any shade or salt on Dak Prescott, but let's be real about it. He's not the best thrower of the ball. So you had to go through that. And then you had to go through the pressure, and everybody's saying, okay, what number you going to wear? You see, can you run a route? Can you stay healthy?
I don't think he would have been able to hold that burden like Amari Cooper did. That's why I feel like Amari Cooper should get his bread, because if we would have brought a Sammy Watkins in, if they would have signed a Sammy Watkins and he was the leader of our receivers, I mean, I don't even think he was devastating at Kansas City. He went over there. He was good, but I don't think he was devastating. I don't think he was that number one receiver. He's been injured his whole career to me. He has the all-world talent. We get it. But I just don't feel like with the pressure that Amari Cooper came in, that's why I think he's a dog and he should definitely get his money. If we're talking about $16 million, $17 million, I'm cool with Amari. And like I'm cool with Zeke, disposition. But Amari's still young, and he's not going to get hit as much as Zeke. But when you see what he came in at a 3-5, we're losing, and he came in, he changed the whole dynamic of the team. As much as people say, oh, well, Dak Prescott is nothing without Ezekiel Elliott, and he can't do anything, I said time and time again, we were Dallas Cowboys were 3-5 with Dak and Zeke was not having bad numbers. Zeke was having good numbers, and we still weren't winning games. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They didn't start winning games until Amari Cooper came in the fold and changed the dynamic of the offense. Dak got better. Zeke got more holes. The whole offense got better. The whole team changed, and I don't think a Sammy Watkins didn't have the makeup to be able to take on what Amari Cooper did, because he basically put a lot on his shoulders and basically blew it up.
Blew it clean off the map, and then people failed to realize Amari Cooper, what it helped out with his career too. I finally saw Amari Cooper. Remember, when Amari Cooper scored touchdowns, he handed the ball to officials or he put it on the turf. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I seen Amari Cooper. He was celebrating. He started being able to be more of himself.
Yes.
And now like this little trash talking that he do or subliminal messages that he does, man, it's so many things that I literally said last year on my Instagram page. I said, man, Amari Cooper only played a handful of games, and he's slowly becoming my favorite Cowboy of all time. Slowly. And people say, hey, pump the brakes, Law. And then just listen to what he had to say about, hey, he want to be pretty much a Cowboys for life. My thing is, I'm still on the Stephen Jones side of things, meaning that I want to get stuff for less money and for longer term. I think that we should pay Amari Cooper before Julio Jones get his big contract.
Yeah, I mean, because Amari Cooper, he's devastating. I wanted him when he came out of Alabama. I liked him. I followed him when he was at Oakland. I liked him. I just liked his game. I was like, man, if Dallas could ever get a receiver like that, we'd be sweet. And when we got him, I was cool with that first round pick. When you thought, but you're like Amari Cooper. He's young. He's a dog. And as I said before, the key to me with Amari Cooper, just as you said, he was always talked about as the quiet guy. People didn't know he liked football. People didn't know if he cared because he didn't talk a lot. He didn't say a lot to people. He kept to himself. But really, he probably is not that type of person. But if he probably don't like you or feel you probably fake, that's why he gets quiet and don't talk to you, because that he don't probably deal with those type of people. He looks like he has that type of makeup. Just by me looking on the outside in, he looks like he has that type of makeup. He comes over to Dallas, you see a whole different Amari Cooper. This dude is talking. He's shooting. He's doing celebrations where he's shooting it through the damn goalpost. You know what I mean? He's talking trash. He's getting big medallions with his number, with Cowboys all on it. You know what I mean? He's a whole different person when he's with the Cowboys. Number one, he loves the organization. He loves the team. And he always speaks very highly of Dak. Now, if you really look at Amari Cooper, he looks like a perfectionist. He looks like a guy that he really takes his craft seriously. Like, he looks like he's really about that life with his craft. And I'm telling you what, he said it about Linehan, like, oh, damn, are we still going to run these same damn plays? Like, he was already critical, so you know he's going to voice his opinion. And I really feel that if he wasn't feeling Dak and didn't think he was a good quarterback, he would say it.
Boy, you just said a mouthful on that. So, yes. And then guess what? After he voiced his opinion about old soft Scott Linehan, boy, that boy's stats and everything went whoop, 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 whoop. It's a coincidence, though, huh?
You know what I mean?
Easy coincidence, huh? But I like Amari, and I think that, you know, he's a nuanced route runner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big physical guy, and we have yet to have that consistently on our roster. We love what Cole can do. He was the best route runner last year. But now you got Amari who's integrated into this system. And then on top of that, during this time last year, Dak Prescott wasn't throwing no ball to no Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was just now trying to get to know who Alan Hearn is. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And don't sleep on Alan Hearn's Cowboy Nation.
He's going to be better.
He's another route runner.
But that's what I'm saying. Having Amari Cooper still makes everybody better, because he made Michael Gallup better. Because what we were saying about Michael Gallup got considerably better after Amari Cooper came. Now he became more of a threat. I feel like he really settled into that number 2 role. I feel like they really bounce off each other so beautifully. We're not even talking about Randall Cobb law.
Bruh,
we're not even talking about Randall Cobb law. I don't give a hell, and everybody's going to be in agreement and let the church say amen.
Man. Amen.
Randall Cobb is an upgrade over Cole Beasley, and we hell to know that, because one of the biggest upgrades to me is Cole Beasley can't take something from the 20 and take it to the house for a touchdown. Cole Beasley getting caught at the 30-yard line and going down, or he going to slide on the ground because he don't want to get hit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they had Cole Beasley on punt returns, because he was scared as hell. Cole Beasley, I ain't hating on you, dog, but you know it was true. You was always taking
that yoga flame, man.
I mean, he know it was true. He would get that ball and he run to the ground. He ain't want to get hit. You know, we know it was true. That's why we got Tavon Austin. But guess what I'm saying? You got a Randall Cobb who, even though he's not big, he's thick. And that's the type of guy, when you throw a slant to him, he's healthy. He can take it to the house. And that's what we need.
A dog on the wide receiver side. And guys, remember, I was saying this, the approach and the attack to the ball out in the sky. That was Gallup's game, right? And we saw him elevate his route running techniques a little bit better down the course of the year, right?
Right.
So you got that one hand. And then also, now that if you look at the game, look at the LA Ram tape when he caught that big pass. Look at the other games when he caught the big pass. When they roll coverage over to Amari Cooper's side, don't you know that they're going to roll that split guy that's going to be playing the thirds a little bit closer now to survey the lane where Randall Cobb is at? So this year, if he remains healthy, I'm going to knock on some doggone wood.
You better knock on that wood hard.
If he remains healthy, Gallup, he's going to be looking at the opposition and say, baby, I don't got nobody over the top now. It's just me and you, mano a mano. Dak, lob that thing up what we've been practicing on all this offseason.
I think Gallup is going to be nasty this year, Law.
And, bruh, we're not even talking about Tavon Austin.
I mean, and people forget. I'm telling you, that Cedric Wilson gonna be sneaky. Cedric Wilson gonna be sneaky as hell.
I don't woke my little baby. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Cedric Wilson is gonna be sneaky as hell. I mean, when you look at our receiving core, it's exciting because you look at Law will be back here in a second. He got to take a little break. He'll be back here. But when you think of our receiving core, you don't get excited about that. You don't get excited when you see Amari Cooper. You got Cedric Wilson. I mean, I'm sorry, not Cedric Wilson. Michael Gallup. And Michael Gallup is going to be nasty this year. I think he's going to take a super leap in his year 2. You got Cobb, who you can slide inside. You got Cobb who can slide outside. You can move Amari Cooper in the slot. You got Tavon Austin when you got 4 wide. I'm telling you, that Cedric Wilson kid, he's going to be something exciting. He's got good size. He's every bit of 6'3". And he's a big body receiver, good hands. I think he's going to come in there and sleep a lot of people. You're still talking about Devin Smith, who's a speedster from Ohio State, who we've been clamoring for to get a speedster. He's a speedster. We don't even know if he would make the roster. And then you still have the draft where you can still draft somebody to groom, because a lot of these guys are Noah Brown. I'm not even talking about him. You got guys that a lot of guys are on 1-year deals. You got Cobbers on a 1-year deal, so we're probably not going to re-sign him. You know, Hearns, he's finishing up his 1-year deal. So you got guys that you're going to need to groom going forward. So you look at that nucleus, it looks good. Tight end position, I wonder what's going to happen with that tight end position. Are they going to draft a tight end? Let me ask you guys right now, since y'all in the chat right now. Do you think the Cowboy is you coming back? Do you think the Cowboys should draft a tight end? I'm going to ask you guys right now. Do you think the Cowboys should draft a tight end? You got Witten back, but he's only going to be on a year deal. You got Blake Jarwin, who looked good toward the end of the season. I think Schultz is a decent player. I mean, Rico Gathers is Rico Gathers at this point. I'm really not going to have any kind of expectation for Rico Gathers any longer. But Cowboys fans who's in the chat, should the Cowboys draft a tight end? What do you think, Law?
My thing is, if they do draft a tight end, one of these guys is going to have to go. We only have room for 90 man that's on his roster that's during the offseason, I believe. And I think that if they draft a tight end, you got to have snaps. And if you don't have chances to give that guy room out there to run routes and pick up the offense, then why keep him? This is not a daycare services. So, and the short person on the stick will be Rico. So I think that they shouldn't draft a tight end, but if they do, then it means the odd man out may be Rico.
It's going to have to, because let's say you're going in the second round, and let's say there's a Irv Smith from Alabama who's available.
Oh wow!
that would be hard to pass up. You get what I'm saying? So that's where that draft comes in there, where the Cowboys covered their tracks in free agency. Cowboys fans were crying about, saying, oh, we're taking all long, we're not jumping in free agency. But they took their time and did it the right way and manipulated that damn cap so lovely. Stephen Jones manipulated that cap really good with Robert Quinn. That was a coup getting Robert Quinn the way we did. You got Cobb. You got Ioka. Who else did we grab up? Covington, Hyder. Been just a big coup. So you go into that draft thinking you can get the best player available for real. So you would be mad like if you got a corner at 58, but would you really, really be mad when you know that cornerback position is good? It's good, but is it super solid?
No.
Cheeto was good, but he had a high percentage of quarterbacks completing passes on him. We know what Byron Jones did. We're not hating on nothing about Byron Jones. We might as well bring him in the fold. I'm jumping over everywhere, Cowboys fans, so I apologize, but I don't care. This is just a freestyle Thursday going into Friday. But Law, Byron Jones, since I mentioned his name, he's been a huge topic. Some people like trade him. I've been like, if you ain't gonna if you don't think he's in the plans, then you didn't find out what you can get for him right now. What do you think about Byron Jones? You got Patrick Peterson and them guys making $14 million a year. Yes, Byron Jones was a sticky cornerback. We knew that when he was coming out of college. I told you he wasn't going to be a high interception guy. He was going to be a sticky guy, and that's what he is. He's sticky. So, do you pay $14 million for sticky?
I need more game tape. I do. I just need more tape. I need more film. I need more evidence. I know that he been hurt by the situation of him playing safety out of position, just like I said with Lyle Collins playing out of position. That's a story of a different segment. But my thing is with this, if he don't prove that he's worth his salt out there this year, then he may be on that trading block, or he may be on that, hey, transitional tag, or whatever it may be that you can do to get rid of him during his process. Because my thing is, I know that the Dallas Cowboys breed on what coddling their players, right? But my thing is, we need more takeaways, turnovers, and if Byron Jones don't repeat what he did last year, then he's adios.
I mean, he's going to have that type of year to me for them to think about paying him that money. I don't think that they're thinking about that right now, especially Stephen Jones. And I'm telling you, Stephen Jones, I could see him being cutthroat with Byron Jones. I'm sorry. I could see him being cutthroat with Byron Jones, especially if he doesn't match what he did last year. If he has any kind of struggles this year, especially if he doesn't get a lot of INTs, I definitely see the Cowboys can move on. Now, I've heard people higher up people that scout the game. Oh, Byron Jones, you just don't find lockdown corners like that. Yeah, I get that, but I don't know if he's a lockdown corner yet. He's just been 1 year at the position. He's been back and forth with the safety. We all thought he should probably play corner when he came out, and the Cowboys probably made that fault by putting him at safety because they reached and felt like we need a safety, just like they reached probably for Taco, thinking we need a war daddy because we don't know what DeMarcus Lawrence is. So they probably reached with Byron Jones, and they put him out of position. So now, yes, you had a really good season, and I like that. But I feel, just my opinion, I just feel like, is the team really going to take a step back if Byron Jones is not in the lineup? Maybe I might be wrong. Folks. Cowboys fans in here tell me if I am. But I just in my heart don't think the Cowboys are going to take a major step back if they lose to Byron Jones.
You said a mouthful. The system is the system. When Chris Richard stepped onto this team, he said, I want players with length. I want players with range, with attitude. They can play down on that line, closer to the LOS. That's what he's getting out of Byron Jones. That's what his skill sets say, and that's what his scouting report says. Now, he's not a big turnover guy, and I think we got somebody who made the donation to help grow the nation.
Yes, big shout-outs. Big shout-outs. Who's that? Mr. That Damn Ben.
That Ben.
That Damn Ben. Shout-outs to you, Mr. That Damn Ben, for the donation. That's a beautiful thing right there. You can also donate to Silver Blue Nation too if you choose.
Yes, indeed. That's 1995.
1995. Hey, we appreciate you, big dog, and thank you for everybody that's been tuning in on the Silver and Blue Nation today. But Byron Jones, as I said before, I don't say that you can just get cornerbacks grow on trees. They just don't do that. But I'm sorry. I don't want it to be a prove it year, but it is because that's the way it fell. And I feel like he has to have an all-world type season again to justify that money to me.
Yes, indeed. And then on top of that, my brother from another mother, no other, don't look like Danny Glover. I'm talking about Chido Awuzie. My thing is, he was always this close guy, right? Mm-hmm. Think about this. That was his first year with the Chris Richard. Of course, that was first year with Byron Jones and the rest of the company. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that with the defensive front that we got better Ben now off the edge, that damn Ben, you can put Robert Quinn, he can put this shoulder blade on the grass as well as D-Law, if he can figure out a way to play week one. You're going to have the quarterback thinking with his mental mind, we got to get this ball out quicker. I'm thinking that with Cheeto and Byron really need to get some turnovers, Cheeto and Byron, that they would figure out, hey, the ball is going to be right here at this point. I'm already redirected. We playing press. It's time for us to get some takeaways and turnovers, baby. It's going to happen this year. I just feel it, man. I just can't explain it, but I can feel it, though.
Well, I can feel it, too. We about to shut it down here in a few. I'm going to ask you one last thing before we get out of here. I'm going to ask you about the schedule.
Okay.
The schedule came out. A lot of people were hyped about the schedule. To me, I don't really care about the schedule. I mean, once I see the teams, we're going to play them. I get where you play them in different times. Maybe I don't care now, but then when we get in the season, I'm like, damn, why are we playing Buffalo right now? Or why are we playing
Right.
Patriots? I might think that right now. But just looking at the schedule, we play in the AFC East this season. We got Buffalo, Miami, New York Jets, New England, of course. That's going to be one of the big games. Let me think. What is and we play Chicago, Rams. So people saying you got a Green Bay, New Orleans. People saying you got a daunting schedule this year. I think we can whoop anybody's ass this year, especially if we stay healthy. I've been saying this. I said it last year, Lon. I've been saying this, that we
Right.
are one of the most talented teams in the league, and that's why I'd be so pissed of why we are not doing what we're supposed to do and falling short because we have too much talent. Now, I feel like this season, as I've been saying before, but really been screaming loud, no excuses, because, man, if we stay healthy, looking at that defense, you add to Robert Quinn, DeMarcus Lawrence, you got Woods, Covington, Hyder, Malik Collins, you still got Crawford, Taco, you still got Dorrance Armstrong Jr. You got Jalen, you got Sean Lee coming off the bench. Nobody even talks about Sean Lee. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody. Remember, 2 years ago that we didn't have a defense if we didn't have Sean Lee. Now you ain't even talking about Sean Lee. That's how far the defense has advanced. When you ain't even talking about him, you talking about cutting him. You could have cut him and still saved some money. So when you're looking at this team with that defense and we're staying healthy and that offense is looking good, and what's your prediction as far as what we're looking about? I'm not trying to tell you to throw out a record, but how do you think the season goes with the Cowboys this year? We stay relatively healthy.
If we stay healthy, we're a 10-plus win team. And I really believe that this team can get us to 10 wins and beyond. The reservation that I have is we don't have back-to-back games at home, of course. It's 1 week you're here, next week you're gone. 1 week you're here, next week you're gone. And then we have a stretch in 12 days. I think we got to play 3 games or 4 games, something like that. Do you know that time frame?
Say it again to me.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. In the stretch, we got to go through like 3 games in 12 days or something like that. And that's gonna be some fatigue factor. So we're gonna have to have some depth. And the NFL is a no excuse business. Jerry Jones already put the pressure on Coach Red. He's saying that, okay, this is a proven year for you as well. So I'm thinking that this team should play lights out because the coach should also coach one hell of a games all these years, all these games, because if not, then he's going to be looking for a job, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that this team should play with an aggressive mindset, an aggressive tone, try to beat the curse because this is an odd year. Stephen Jones should know that, hey, if Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones putting the pressure on Jason Garrett, then Jason Garrett might say to himself, I got doggone need to play. I need to coach these players up to the par, and we don't need to lose no crazy 3-point games or 1-point game or what have you. I got to coach the best of my career, like my life is on the line. And I'm thinking that when you put somebody back against the wall, a prize fighter, they always talking about finish the fight and stuff, swings regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody got driven on their shirts. Then they're going to need to drive these things up. They need to play with that intensity, match that energy. I think that all the players with this defense is going to be in the second year Chris Richard system. So I'm thinking that this defense should be slightly better as well. So, and then, of course, you throw in the Robert Quinns of the world. So it's going to be a nice year, big game, James. I feel like we can make it to the playoffs.
Well, I know one thing. I want us to have a first-time NFC East back-to-back champions because that's been a long time since that's happened within the NFC East. So we definitely need to do that. I'm seeing a lot of predictions in here. A lot of people have us over the 10-11 game barrier. I started out with 10. Got bold and said 12-4. I'm going to stay with 12-4 just because I feel like this. Mm-hmm. We got the team and we got Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, these guys are in year 4. Now, how many times have we seen teams that when you feel like they're just really good and then that season is just to kick ass? I felt like that in 2014. Going from 2013 to 2014 season, I just felt like, man, DeMarco Murray, the offensive line, we're going to really do something. I was worried about the thing with Romo, and then you saw how he kind of played in the beginning, but you saw us grabbing steam and just looking like a monster team, like nobody could really touch us. Like we were really going through the league, really kicking ass. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like this is year 4 for a lot of these guys. They're the veterans. They're the leaders. So they should be going in there like we are the top dogs. We need to go into these games like we are the top dogs and we're going to whoop your ass. And that's the attitude we need to have every game because we have too much talent to lose those fugazi games. There can't be the excuse of losing, just like you said, a 3-point game here. It can't be those fugazi games. If you're trying to be the coach and trying to get us over the hump, NFC championships, Super Bowl contenders, every single year getting to the Super Bowl, you can't lose those type of games. Not saying it ain't going to happen, but when you're trying to make your mark with this team and the talent that honestly, it's 2019. We've had some talent through the years, but this is one to me, on paper, one of our most talented teams that we've had in a very long time.
Yes, indeed. And this is another thing that I want Cowboy Nation to understand, and hopefully Coach Garrett. I don't want to hear this. This game will be our Super Bowl. I don't want to hear that. When we play against those Patriots, I don't want to hear, oh, this game going to be our Super Bowl. Or when we play against the LA Rams or the Saints, I don't want to hear from our staff or from anybody from the organization saying, this is our Super Bowl. Don't say that. The Super Bowl is meant to be played in February. So if we want to say this is our Super Bowl, we get there. I don't want to hear, hey, this is going to be the game that proves that we can, because what happens after you hit your goal in life? Sometimes you sit back, you get lackadaisy. You go, hey, I think you did something.
I made it.
Right. Right, I made it. Oh, I got her phone number now. Oh, I'm taking her out to eat, and we going all here and there and everywhere. No, Cowboy Nation. I said this the other day on my other show. I want to be the team that when we up by 20, we stick the knife.
We're still kicking your ass.
And then we start turning it. We start turning it and we say, yeah, that's for over 20 years of everybody talking about us since 1995. Yes. I want when we put our foot on their neck, I don't want it just to be resting there. I want us to just twist and turn and let them look into our eyes and say, you may rest in peace now. Mm-hmm. I want to have that type of mentality. That's when teams come down there to the Big D, the Dallas Cowboys, I want that defense to be so medieval, Cowboy Nation. And I feel it. I feel that Chris Shaw can bring that energy here. And I think that the offense can score just enough for us to just have other people fearing us. And we can be the team that hit everybody by surprise. That's what you want to do. That's what I want. Punch every team in the mouth, not just the Saints. Punch everybody in the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, don't go in there because you punched the Saints in the mouth and then you whoop up the Saints and then you go play the Jets or somebody and then you want to lay an egg. No, whoop every team. Show no mercy. Like if you had a 5-sack game last week, then you're trying to get 7 sacks this game. You feel me? Like it's got to be like that. We got to be animals this year. It can't be the same failures. Cowboys fans, media people all alike. We can't keep going through with this. We just can't. It can't keep happening because you got these other teams that are not better. See, it would be one thing if we weren't a good team. I could take the L's and not try to fake it like we are. But it's another thing when you got a damn good team and you're not doing what you're supposed to, and then you see these other teams who are not as good as you or may be as good as you, and they're doing and making those moves, and they're getting to the Super Bowl. I don't give a hell. That Rams game still leaves a sour taste in my mouth because I look how they just got shut the hell down against New England, and I'm just like, man, dog, they're not better than us. I want to beat them because it's just like I look at these teams like you're not better than us, and we need to prove it. Like I hope the Cowboys have that nasty taste in their mouth like you're not better than us. I hope they remember when the Rams beat them in the playoffs when we play them this season. I hope they remember these teams. Green Bay Packers. I hope you remember Aaron Rodgers beating us all them years. Whoop they ass. You don't want to beat them just 24-21. No, I want to beat the Packers 45-10. You understand what I'm saying? I want to whoop they ass all them years. You got us, Aaron Rodgers. I want to get a 5-sack game. I want to get you get hurt. I want to knock you out the game.
There you go.
You feel me? That's the way I'm feeling right now. That's what I want. I want us to knock these guys out and make them respect the D on my hat. Respect this damn name. We are the damn Cowboys. These people need to come back to respecting what we bring to the damn table. And these Cowboys that are on this current team have to understand that they have a lot of that in them. And if they just go in there and take it, they will be right back in the
Just that. We right there, Cowboy Nation, and we right there, Big Game James.
Yeah. So that's my little my whatever it was. But shout outs to you, Big Law. Man, I appreciate you, Big Dog, jumping on here, man. I missed you, man. Give him a shout out. Tell him what you're doing. Tell him where you at, because I know you got a lot of your fans in here, and we definitely appreciate that. Just tell them what's going on, what you're doing, and everything that you got going on. We want to hear it.
Yes, man. Appreciate everybody, man, for following my page. It's LAW Nation. I'm on IG. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I got 2 pages on YouTube, Law Nations 2.0 and Law Nations page. I also started a new deal. It's dlive.tv/LAW Nation. Follow me there. And we're going to get this thing going, Cowboy Nation. I really do. Of course, we on Roku, iTunes. Big Game James, I'm going to re-upload this particular clip on iTunes.
Okay.
And so that everybody can hear us on Spotify and beyond. Guys, I really appreciate each and every last one of you all, especially the love and adulation that you guys got for this thing that we do. I want to say this. I would be remiss to add, to leave this out. You see this on my head, Cowboys Experience, Cowboys XP. Hit this guy up. It's cowboysexperience.com. And when you go there to their website, you go to this link that says Media Row. You'll see Big Game James information, Silver and Blue, Botch Lombardi, who likes to bring the party, my guy Mark Holmes, DDP, as well as a West Coast Cowboy, and me. Man, we got so many things going on for the season. But if you guys really want to support the nation, you guys really want to support us, hit that website up, hit us up, share this content, put this on Twitter. Just share this thing around, subscribe, comment, and then on top of that, that's when we can provide you the information when we in Oxnard, right?
Right.
We can provide you the information when the team in the training camp come back to Dallas because of you guys. Man, that's all the time that I have for this wonderful evening. I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute.
Salute. Hey, and just as Law said, just to flow off that last little bit, yes, just like you said, we are dedicated to getting y'all the closest Cowboys news. We want to have you not just hearing it from us, but we want to have you hear the ear that's right next to it. So you're like, okay, this is official, and that's what we want to do. We want to get you the official news. We can only continue to do that with your help and your support. So continue to like and subscribe to Law Nation, Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James. Hey, we're just trying to grind for you guys, and we love this. We have the passion for it, but we love you guys more than anything. I love these chat boxes, and I love listening to these comments because it's a lot of people that got a lot of Cowboys knowledge, and we just want to appreciate you. So once again, salutes to everybody. We appreciate everybody that was in the broadcast. Stay tuned. We're going to have more shows from Silver and Blue Nation on the tube. Like and subscribe. Holla at your boy, Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation, Law Nation. You know how we do, and we out.
Yes, indeed.